Hey guys, okay. Boy, you guys are going to slam me for this. Now, as you know, I don't have audio sharing here. Shit. I should get my other computer, but as you know, I've actually was hospitalized, unlike Tom Markle, for 3 months this summer. So with some life-threatening issues, you don't go in the hospital for that long. You know what I mean? They generally kick you out right away. He was, I think, in the hospital for a couple of hours or something like that. Um, uh, all right. Okay, so he's looking pretty good. His hair has a nice color of red to it rather than gray. His skin color looks good. He hasn't really lost any weight that I can tell at all. As you can see, his neck is pretty big yet. Um, I can't see his body, but I just on this appearance, he looks about the same. If he had lost a lot of weight due to illness, it would show up in his face right away. And it would have showed up. And we've seen pictures of him sitting out on his balcony, overlooking the ocean in Rosarito. Is it Rosarita or Rosarito? So you guys know I don't like him. But he is shit. All right, well, let me just play around with this and you can watch the video or not. Again, I think he's full of shit. I don't like him. I'm going to come right out and tell you I don't like him. His career has been around acting. Acting. When you act, you're not being yourself. You're being fake. You're being someone else. So right now, I just don't trust the guy. As we know, he's not been a well man recently. Has something else happened to him recently that I've missed? Because there's a good possibility that he has been ill since the last time I saw him, but he doesn't look ill. Now, I hate putting myself there right away, but I'll say myself and like my dad within like 1 month, 25 pounds down, boom, right away. And I mean, I looked at myself in the mirror. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. My eyes were extremely red all the way around, just up until the last like 3 weeks. My arms were just like a bone hanging. Um, my weight was embarrassing. And I kind of tried to cover up and hide that weight loss. So I look at Tom, he looks about the same as what he's always has looked. So, okay. Could he be sort of stuttering a little bit? Yeah, sure. I don't think it's his final interview, but I have a feeling I missed one of his health crises. Um, he's not been a well man recently. I don't know. Indeed, it was a brush with death just last year. Oh, okay. A year ago. Okay. So I'm going back a month. And I almost look right back to my normal self, being infection free and not having to have a fucking surgical procedure, not having to have fucking IVs constantly every damn day, every couple of hours with antibiotics and pain meds and this and that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like laying it out there, but that's being what when you're really sick and your life is in danger, that's what happens. So don't give me this bullshit, Markle. And yeah, you guys can come back and lay any trip on me you want. Go for it. I don't care. I don't think he had a brush with death. He had a oxygen mask over his face, but it wasn't connected to an oxygen tank. Now, if you could help me to explain that, it would be helpful. I went over that on the channel. I've gone over that on the channel before too. And I was thinking to myself a few days ago, I can't remember exactly what I was doing. I was driving my car And I thought, God, for some reason, because I had been so ill that I had a friend that's offered to take me to the hospital. I said, "Look, man, I said you're never going to be able to get me down the stairs." And I had to have him come and have ambulance people put me on a chair and pick me up on the chair and walk me to the ambulance. This is what I'm saying. He's no, that's having a life-threatening illness. Not when Megan got married the day before, he said he was driving all over Mexico and Southern California looking for a hospital. If you're in the midst of a heart attack, that's not something that you would be dead. And you're driving around for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours trying to find someone to treat you, and they're not finding anything wrong with you. He probably had an anxiety attack. I think he's prone to anxiety attacks. I really do. All right, renewed his plea for reconciliation. Okay. Whatever's going on between Tom Markle, and Megan. Okay, here we go. Tom going on ITV and Good Morning Britain or whatever the hell this is not going to change that. And by the way, is he wearing a rug? Because it really looks like it, this blonde guy. Oh, isn't this the chick that used to be here on TV with, what's his name? Pierce? I don't know. She always has this weird, like someone's trying to, like, she has this weird, frustrated look on her face 100% of the time. And then her head tilted like, oh my God. oh, I mean, can you imagine living with someone like that? I feel sorry if she's married or whatever. I mean, just look at her. Always upset. Oh, you're not going to actually open the refrigerator that way, are you? Because, it might make too much noise when you close it. I don't know. His plea for reconciliation with his daughter. Let's continue on. This ain't going to help Tom. First and foremost, Megan is in, to my knowledge, in the States most of the time. I don't know if she's still buzzing around Europe, making a complete fuck ass out of herself. And she looks higher than on cocaine or some shit like that. I mean, let's lay the cards on the table. When she was wearing that green dress and blowing kisses to somebody, when she's in this procession wherever she showed up, Megan, there were like 20 people there and the press, which is another 20, which when you're just in a camera lens, it looks like there are people on each side of you. It looks like there is a crowd there, even though there are only about 20 to maybe 100 tops people there. So Megan is off on her own trip right now, and it is a big one because I swear and then Harry's doing all the hand gestures again. So I'm saying both those two they're so far gone on their trip, on their own trip. And Megan, she's going to be like 43 years old. If she wanted to touch base with you, Tom, she would have already. She's not a 20-year-old girl. She's not an 18-year-old girl. She's a 43-year-old woman. And as far as seeing grandchildren, you don't have grandchildren via Megan. They might be adoptive grandchildren, but they're not your blood, hon. No, Tom. Get that out of here. His plea for reconciliation with his daughter, Megan, or Meg, and her husband, Prince Harry, this morning, he's going, the words that the royal couple meet as grandchildren. I don't even. Oh, this is funny. Is this just perpetuating the hoax? Because I'm beginning to think it is. You don't have any grandchildren. Did Megan look like a mom in Germany? Well, still with the chance, Thomas was admitted to hospital last May. Okay, so it's been a year and a half. And he was at home pretty much right away, 4 days later, with his son, Tom Jr., taking care of him, the pot farmer. And I'm supposed to believe that like this dude is on his last leg. Guess what? I don't. And you know what? And right now, as I'm saying this, I'm having these pangs of guilt while I'm saying this because you guys are going to think I'm so cold and all that shit. But no, a year and a half later, and you're just sitting at home on a beachfront resort community, and you're made to look like this sad man. No, I don't believe it. You know, I mean, I don't feel necessarily comfortable talking about what happened to me because it was a crime actually because the person took off and that's a felony in my state. So I don't know how much I should talk about it because it's an ongoing legal process, which I've had to attend also, which has been just a blast for me, Tom. I mean, he thinks he has a bad. Try going and before someone that fucked you up while you're in a wheelchair looking right at them. Yeah, that's been fun too. And so this is what I'm saying. I don't believe Tom Markle. So last May, which was about what? Oh, we're almost in October, June, July, August, September. So 12, 16 months ago, he was in the hospital, but he was out after just a couple days. But Colleen, or some girls goes into the hospital and she's in for 3 months. Okay, gotcha, Tom. Suffered a stroke. Yeah, they said he had stroke like symptoms. Stroke like symptoms. He's had speech therapy. Yeah, okay. For almost 2 years. He doesn't look any different. He no. It's not his final interview. This is a joke. If you guys would have seen me, I shouldn't be continuing to put myself in here. Two months ago, you would have thought, is that her final video? You know, if you, yeah. I believe this will be your last ever live television interview. He's not dying. This is going to run out at 15 minutes, so I might do a part two. You have a final message for your daughter. I'm going to have to get my other computer and try to. It's just I have problems on that one loading these videos and doing them. Oh, don't not in my last, but I still haven't seen my grandkids, and it was a vow. I want to see my grandkids, so I have an idea. Why don't you go to her house with ITV? And what you could do is you could pretend to want to see, you could be the paparazzi that is so in love with that daughter that you created with Doria Ragland and her morals and values that you gave her, your liberal church of the fellowship of whatever, all the values you gave her, but you did give her good education in the Catholic school. Um, uh, you know, so the press wants to see this wonderful girl of yours, and so why don't you set up an interview, and why don't you pay her what you're getting off of this because she could use that for a mortgage payment. I want to see my grandkids. I think the king would like to see his grandkids as well. He's either putting pressure on her. She'll be showing up with the kids on a photo app. The king would like to see his grandkids as well. So he's now speaking for the king of England. Susanna, I spoke with you. I think it was October 2021. And I remember one of the first things you said to us was this is going to become a regular thing, that you were going to go on television, you said, to us about once a month. I was listening to an interview with Larry Sinclair, um, and he had said how in Mexico, or somebody listened to recently, um, in Mexico, it costs, or no, I was listening to another celebrity talk about how, if your monthly expenses in, like where I am in Milwaukee or anywhere in the state really, is about, you know, 15 to 18 to $2,000 a month in rent, and that's just for a one bedroom. Then you have to pay your electricity, your water, water and sewer, you're in and you're out, your internet, your cable, your phone. And by the time all is said and done, it costs about 25 to 3K a month just for one person. And, plus your other expenses, your gas, your car, your insurance, all that shit. But I guess in Mexico, you can get that for like 500 a month. So that's why people are living there. But it's just more of an exclusive, laid back community. And Tom, he doesn't look sick. Sorry, he just doesn't. He's got his hair kind of touched up and dyed. He's still leaning. He looks exactly like he did in 2018, and we can pull that up. So he's going to keep coming back once a month because he needs just an extra perk. But he's telling the world that he just wants to beg Megan to see those grandkids until finally the door opened and you got a chance to see your daughter again. And you're not that bothered about Harry, but you want to see Meg again and you want to see the grandchildren. And there aren't any grandchildren. And you had a stroke. You're very, very ill. When? Megan make any attempt, because she knows, well, first and foremost, she knows he's bullshitting. Every time he has to go to England or he has plans, he gets sick. Yeah, right. Uh, to my knowledge, no attempts at all. No one tried. And I haven't seen Megan and Harry. We know this in 5 years. And the last time I spoke with him, I was on the hospital bed. I don't believe this. He's lying right here. I didn't hear this one to see if that was me and I was at death's door. You guys, I'm going to put my Tom Markle interviews back up. He wasn't, again, if he was driving, had someone driving him around in a car with symptoms of a heart attack. He had a mild, I believe that it's possible he had a heart attack, whatever the description of that is in Joe Obama's America, because all the hospital protocols have changed. But you weren't like croaking out, dying, needing emergency surgery. You say you had a stent put in. We don't know when that happened, but you were again released the next day and you went to an Airbnb to watch Megan get married on television on an Airbnb with a friend in LA. Because I remember this shit. You weren't at death's door. If you were the next day let out of the hospital for quite a few weeks and months. That's, you know what? As someone that actually was really critically ill in the hospital and in an ICU unit, Tom Markle, you ought to be disgusted in yourself, you piece of trash. My daughter turned her back on me. I'd be heartbroken. How do you feel? Well, I guess. Wait, where am I here? I'm still recording. Very upset about it, blah, 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 because, well, this is a cruel thing to do to grandparent, not just to me, to the king in England as well, as he's been denied the rights to see his grandchild. I'm going to tell you, you're happy to figure out my voice, but I'm trying to say the best way I can. He's never been articulate. Almost we can hear in your speech the effects of the stroke. I'm sorry. Let me listen to this quick. There's no cure for a stroke. Tom, I tell you, to be honest with you, you're saying there's no cure for a stroke. Um, I'm not really sure the sentence that you're going to have after that, but you can 100%, pretty much 100% fully to my knowledge, rehabilitate yourself and regain whatever you lost from the stroke. I mean, look at there are a lot of people out there that have had strokes. You learn to manage it. Okay, so I'm managing the voice. I started, there was no voice at all. Of course, there wasn't. Okay, yeah. We're going to end the video, but it was, like, let's see what happens.